I wanted to ask you a question about awareness, because everything you've talked about, whether you've talked about happiness, loving kindness, the various causes of suffering, but where does our awareness actually come from originally? I wonder what the Buddha actually said about awareness, being aware, universal consciousness, if you want to call it.
So thank you for the question. So in Buddhist terminology, that is the word used for that is mindfulness. So awareness and mindfulness, basically the same. So it's actually one of the parts that we had developed in the Noble Eightfold Path. So that is Samma Sati. That means right mindfulness. Being mindful means you had to be aware of what's happening in the mind and what's happening with your life, right? So there are 4 sections. You have to be aware of your body. That means not about the physical appearance, the real nature of the body. That is impermanence, and it will grow old and it will decay. So because the basic intention of practicing Dhamma is to purify the mind and eradicate craving. So you have to be aware that your body and your all the material things that you possess are impermanent and will subject to change, and that is one part. And then you have to be aware of your feelings. What's happening when you see forms with your eyes? You experience pleasure and unpleasant feeling and pleasant feeling and neutral feeling. And same happens when you listen to sounds and smell odors, and you experience tastes and touch. And when you think, so you experience feelings, pleasant feelings, neutral, unpleasant feelings, and neutral feelings. You have to be aware of your feelings, what happens and how that becomes impermanent. That awareness should be there. And the next thing is the practitioner of the Dhamma should be aware of their mind. When greed arises in the mind, you have to be aware. When there's jealousy, and when there's hatred, and when there is delusion, and when there's loving kindness, and when there's generosity, and when there is wisdom in the mind, good and bad qualities in the mind, you have to be aware when that arises. So that awareness has to do with the mind. And the next thing is the awareness of the Dhamma. That means the phenomena. When you practice meditation, you will develop concentration. So you have to be aware that your concentration is improved. And when you practice virtue, and when you practice wisdom, and when you learn the teachings of the Buddha and try to practice meditation and the path, when good qualities are improved in you, you have to understand that these qualities are improved. And when something happens, something bad happens to your life, and when these qualities diminish in you, you have to understand, you have to be aware of that. So that awareness should be practiced in order to complete the path taught by the Buddha. So that is called mindfulness, and it will straight away help to develop concentration and then develop wisdom. So awareness is a key thing that we have to practice.